What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Fiction Series. Actually my filter if you hear something in the background. We're going to talk about the HBO series Euphoria. Euphoria came out in 2019. It is a teen drama, one season, and you can watch this on HBO, Amazon, and I believe Hulu as well. I watched it on Amazon, and although this is a teen show, I feel like if you're I'd say if you're like young teen, early teen, mid-teen, early adult, you would most likely enjoy this show. It's created by Sam Levinson and executive produced by Drake, Ron Leshem, Tmira, Yardeni. Zendaya as Rue Bennett, Hunter Scaffer as Jules, Jacob Elordi as Nate Jacobs, Sydney Sweeney as Cassie, Alexa as Maddie, and Barbie Farina as Kat Hernandez, Storm Reed as Rue's sister, I did not get her name, I forgot, Angus Cloud as Fezco, Algie Smith as Chris McKay, Eric Dan as Kyle Jacobs, and Nikki Williams as Leslie Bennett. It's an American adaptation of Israeli show called Euphoria, which I never knew that there was a show in Israeli called Euphoria. This is just an adaptation of that, and it also has the same name. If there's anyone from Israel, in the comments below, how is that? It stars a 17-year-old girl named Rue, played by Zendaya. She's this girl who is actually a drug addict, and it follows her as well as all her friends, basically trying to figure out who they are in life, what they want to do, while also doing drugs, having sex, and dealing with love and relationships and all that jazz. In her own world, she meets Jules, a trans girl who she falls for. And there's also other teens, like I said. There's Nate the jock, who has anger issues and sexual insecurities. Chris, the football star, who finds out that college is way harder than he expected. Cassie, who's sexually shamed a lot. Kat, who becomes sexually liberated, and more characters. Now, like any other teen show, we have the excessive drug use, sex, and that lovey-dovey relationship, drama-infused relationship stuff. But I will say that this is a bit different. Like, you might be thinking like, oh, we had UK Skins, we had Degrassi. Where UK Skins, there was a lot of heavy drug use. I would even say that even after watching this, I still think that UK Skins drug use was way more than this. And I feel like this has more substance as opposed to UK Skins. UK Skins was just like, where were their parents? They were doing drugs like every day, every other day, and it seemed like no one cared. And then Degrassi was just like, there was always a lesson at the end of like each episode with Degrassi. Also, I will say this is way more aesthetically pleasing than Degrassi and Skins UK because of the times that it is right now. It was giving me, definitely was giving me Tumblr vibes, definitely was giving me Instagram aesthetics. Also, everything seemed more normalized and accepted in this show. Now, let's talk about the characters. This is where it gets juicy. First off, we have Rue. Now, Rue, her name alone basically means regret. If we think about her character, she pretty much hated her existence. She didn't like her existence. She didn't like her life. She had odds against her because she had some sort of like mental disability and she had to get on medication, and then soon she became a drug addict. Her character kind of walked around with like the same expression, and she didn't really start to change until like she met Jules, or she didn't try to change until she met Jules. Zendaya's character and her acting was very good. It was very set in this character. Her character was very like draining, and she always looked tired, and she was always washed out looking, and she just had like this same expression, and it was always super depressive. All the moments with her mother, whenever they argued, was super intense, and she was super, super just careless about a lot of things. But at the same time, she had like this sense of like coolness about her. We had watched her character go up and down this roller coaster ride of emotion, this roller coaster ride of growth and downward spirals. She would be okay, and then all of a sudden she would go into this dark place, she would go into this dark hole, and it was pretty constant. It really showed you how much being an addict can affect other people in your lives. When it came down to her, how it affected her mom, how it affected her sister and started to influence her sister negatively, and also how it affected her and her life and how she felt about herself and how she felt about other people, her friends. It was also interesting how Rue was the narrator of everyone's lives, even though she had like this kind of one-dimensional tone to her voice, because it still worked. It still worked. Like her voice, the way she told the story, it all went well. Next we have Jules. Jules is this very, like, I'd say tomboyish. Jules is just out here. She's out here. She's meeting randoms on I believe Grindr and hooking up with them in motels. She felt like doing it. And Rue kind of fell short of that because Rue just kind of followed her around the whole time because she was like practically and be there. Rue was kind of just chasing her around. She was like super attached, more so than Jules was to her. It seemed like Jules was just like, you're suffocating me type way to Rue, and Rue was more of a like melodramatic type of person. They were definitely opposites to try. Then we have Nate's character, who was a creep like his father, and I guess like father like son. He had some serious anger issues with a little dab of abuse on the side. Like Nate was, something was wrong with Nate and his entire family, to be honest. They had a lot of issues. He was just all in all just not a good person at all. But I will say that his acting was on point. His acting was actually really good in a lot of scenes. His character's acting was really good, and like also his dedication. Let's talk about, despite Nate being a terrible person and a terrible friend and has so many problems, so many insecurities, we can't deny that Nate was extremely loyal to his family. Like, he was dedicated. Like, no matter what, he never put anyone, not even Maddie, before his family. Nobody came before his family, despite everything his dad did. Despite any feelings that he had towards his dad or his family, he always put them first in most of the situations. I mean, even with Maddie, there was a sense of loyalty that he had to her. Not to justify anything that he's done, but his loyalty to his family as well as his spouse, wow, pretty impressive. Like, he was not effing around. He was not here to play games. Even when he found out about his dad, he still listened to his dad's advice. He still tried to protect his father. Even though he found out all of these things about his dad, how he was a creep, he's a pedo, he still like was there trying to protect them. I just think, man, all of the invisible scars he must bear. Wow. Next we have Cassie. First off, Cassie, she had a bad rep. Cassie had a bad rep because of the videos and all the sexting and being recorded having sex, plastered all over the school, plastered all over the internet, plastered all over the world. So she had a bad rep. She had bad humiliation. Imagine coming to school and dealing with that every single day. On top of that, her dad was a heroin addict, stole from them, and then disappeared and never came back. On top of that, her mom was an alcoholic, and on top of that, she had to get an abortion. Want that child. Then you had her boyfriend, Chris McKay, who was completely humiliated and raped in front of his girlfriend by his frat brothers or something, and it seemed like it was something that was completely normalized, and I was just so confused. And I'm like, we're not gonna talk, no one is gonna talk about this trauma. No one reported it, no one really said anything about it. It seemed like it was normalized, and it was like super mad weird that it was like a thing, and they laughed about it and got up and left while he was just on the floor traumatized, crying. It's supposed to be some sort of prank. It was just weird. And then he had to get up and like suck it up, because that's what he was taught. He had to suck it up, go into the bathroom, cry, get it together, come out the bathroom, and then he proceeded to have sex with Cassie as if it never happened. And I'm just like, God, the trauma. Not to mention he was having such a difficulty in school and feeling like he didn't know if he deserved to, he didn't know if he could do it because it was so hard. And then he tried to confide in his father, and his dad was just like, well, just, you better suck it up because we not weak over here. Basically his dad was just like, be a man and rub some dirt in it together. And he didn't really talk about the fact that, yeah, son, it is hard. Like, let's hear what you have to say. Let's hear how you feel about this and your emotions about this. And also, speaking of Nate, because I did bring Nate up, Nate was not a good friend to McKay. Okay, he pressured him to have this party, and then he basically made fun of Cassie because of her reputation, because she had a bad rep, and he didn't respect McKay and her relationship at all. Okay, despite your opinion about like this person being like whatever they're doing, you can at least be a friend to him and be like, well, you know, I'm happy that you're happy. I can see that you love her. And, you know, that's what's up. He was a jerk because he knows that when he found out about the situation with Maddie and that guy, he ruined that guy's life. So why do you not have any sympathy or empathy for your friend and his girl? You're so judgmental, but your girl, you're not. Neither your family. You know, Nate got some hidden problems going on with himself that he needs to deal with. Seriously. Next we have Maddie's character. Now, Maddie and Nate were practically made for each other, honestly. Her character, I'm not sure if her character has a storyline. I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't see, like, she's attractive and she was able to finesse everything. And I mean, that was cool. She was able to finesse coats and bags and trips out of Nate, and she get whatever she want because she's beautiful, and I guess that is her superpower. But to be honest, I have no idea who she is as a character besides that. Like, and she didn't seem to really have such a bad storyline besides the fact that she was getting abused by Nate. Yeah, there's not really much to say about her character. I think maybe she was just used for Nate, which is really bad to say and kind of messed up because it's like, it's as if she only exists for him and like she's not a real person. She is a person, but I just can't think of much about her character that was like interesting or like much to say. Next character is Kat. Kat definitely flourished. She had the best relationship slash non-relationship slash situationship with the boy that she had met. That was a sweet dude. Even and she had like the best glow up. Even though she was far from ugly, her character I actually liked a lot because she was like confident in what she was doing, and she kind of took control of it in a way. She started making money from it. She was proud. She was strutting her stuff, walking around like I'm a bad, you know. And eventually she had, of course, broken down, and she had like this revelation about herself and who she really wanted to be, and she ended up being with the sweet dude. And porn site, the whole side of the porn site in this show and actually in real life is just really, really fetishizingly weird, creepy, and just weird. Next character we have is Fezco. I'm not gonna lie, Fezco is, he's kind of bae. Like, yeah, I know he's a dropout and he sells drugs and he did beat that guy bludgeonly and he's not the brightest tool in the shed, but Fezco's really not that bad of a person because yeah, he also did sell rude drugs and he was her drug dealer technically, but he did show some compassion. He showed that he cared about her. He looked at her like she was family. And he even went up to Nate and threatened Nate, like, if you ever do anything to Root or Jules, I will kill you and I will come for you. And not only that, when that creepy drug pin guy was pressuring Rue, he was trying to just, he was trying to prevent it. He was trying to get her out of that situation. He even told her, like, be quiet or leave because they're about to come over here. But when she ended up being in the situation, he did try to do everything in his power, and he took her home, tried to take the fentanyl. He did call Jules and try to get her back in the house. And he even decided to stop selling drugs to her to support her drug habit and not feed into her cursing him out when she was at his door. So yeah, I did like Fezco's character. I do think he wasn't that bad of a person at all, especially in comparison to a lot of the other characters. Ooh, it's a fly in here. Next character we have is Cal Jacobs. Dun 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 dun. Ooh, child, the pedophilia. Now, just pedophilia all up in the air. This whole show is just pedophilia in the particles floating around in every episode, all up in the air, all up in the oxygen. Just all you smell is pedophilia throughout this whole freaking season. From the dad to the creeps online to the dude at the party to everybody. It's just everyone. Like, oh, it's like the producers were like, oh, yeah, y'all need pedophilia? Oh, we got you. Plaster it all up in the episode, every season. And the thing about Kyle Jacobs is he's a chameleon, because him and his family, they can blend in, they can look regular like everyone else. They're prestige, they're well respected. They're good at everything. The dad's good at everything. He owns everything. He's well known. He's this top-notch dude. Like, he's this top-notch guy, and his son is like head of the football team. He's a chameleon because he can shed his skin. He sheds his skin. He takes on different forms. He's secretly this other person, this pedophile. He's not secure with his sexuality. He's secretly having sex with men and children, and he's cheating on his wife. He's a cheater. He's a liar. He's a pedophile. He's a creep. He has secrets. And I really wish Jules would have snitched on him, and he needs to be behind bars. Actually, I was hoping that Jules was gonna blackmail him. I was like, she might as well go ahead and blackmail him. She might as well be like, you know what? I need money. I need my own place. And not only do I need my own place, I need you to pay for it. I need a monthly allowance. I need you to buy me groceries. You don't want me to say anything? I would have blackmailed him. He threw that guilt and that manipulation on her and was like, I have a family, you know? And I wouldn't want it to get out. Like, I love your generation. You guys are so, I can't be fearless like you guys. You guys are so fearless and you take risks and blah, blah, blah. You're a fraud and you're a pedophile, bro. And you're a creep and you're old enough to know this. How old are you, sir? And he was up here recording people, which I don't even know if all of this was consensual with all of these DVDs that he has and videos that he has of these people that he was recording, children, men, whoever else. Lastly, our last character we have is Leslie Bennett, known as Rue's mom. Now, honestly, you know her mom been through a lot. I could feel the stress. I could hear the stress and the pain in her voice of a black mama. I could feel the agony that she had to go through and deal with. And then she didn't have her husband, so it was just kind of her just being a single mom. And man, Rue put her through a lot. I'm not gonna lie. But you can tell that she really tried her best as a mother. I would say Rue's mom and Maddie's mom were probably the only parents on here that really showed interest in the fact that they seemed to actually care about their children, and they went to take measures in order to protect their children. Whereas all the other parents, I don't know about them. The visuals overall, the cinematography was great. It definitely, like I said, it gave me aesthetics of 2020 aesthetics, Tumblr aesthetics, the age of the internet. So it all fit in well with how things look now and things that kids of this age are into. The storyline was definitely captivating, interesting, and engaging. I loved it the whole way through. And the character development definitely started to happen towards the end. I'm sure in season 2, we'll see more growth from the characters. So I definitely would recommend this show. I enjoyed it, and I hope that we see season 2. I've heard different things. I've heard that we're not getting a season 2 from this show, so I don't really know if that's true or not. If you guys like this video, definitely give it a thumbs up, and comment below, let me know what are your thoughts about this show. Who's your favorite character and why? Also, be sure to hit that notification bell for future videos, and to get you a copy of my book Rain. It is a psychological thriller about a group of young adults in a psych ward who think they're never going to get out, and they all have mental illnesses, and they get this counselor who's trying to help them, and he secretly has an agenda, and he's trying to find his brother who has mental illnesses. These kids are being tortured and experimented on, and he is trying to figure out how to help them and get them out of there, and he learns that they're all connected and he's connected to them in some way. So if you're interested, hit that link in the description box below to get you a copy of this book to support me, and also here is the website if you can't find it down below. Also, here is my email so that you get my email list. We will be doing more readings of other books that I've written, and also teaching you about writing and how to become a writer. So definitely do that, and I will see you all next time.